Hey, what's going on? Benji Kaiser here today, talking about, is graphic design right for you? I'm sure you're asking yourself, okay, so I'm interested in graphic design, but is this the right career choice for me? So I'm gonna answer some of those questions today by kind of talking through what a graphic designer does, some things that you have a natural bend to, and maybe that'll spark some ideas on if you're right for graphic design and just some of the day-to-day operations of a graphic designer and what you could expect to see if it is in fact a good fit for you. If you've yet to subscribe to this channel, I highly recommend doing so. I put out daily videos helping you pack a punch and build an audience, and I do a lot of content surrounding graphic design, which is the career I've been in for a little less than a decade now, and I truly love it, and I'm trying to share my experiences to help you get tuned into the industry. If you have any questions, please comment below. I'd love to answer those questions. I'd love to make some videos to help you out personally. If you're curious about gear, tips, tricks, etc., you can check those out in the YouTube cards above or the description below during this video. All right, one of the number one questions I hear is, okay, I love to sketch. Should I become a graphic designer? I personally did not have a background in sketching or drawing or art or anything when I got into graphic design. My background was photography. I love to take pictures, and graphic design for me was a way of communicating my images. So it was a vehicle for the photography that I loved to do. And since then I've gotten into videography as well, and so my graphic design is simply a vehicle onto which to carry my passion for photography. And if you have a passion for photography, that fits very well into graphic design, because then you can take your own sources. You understand how to create composition, you understand the rule of thirds and organizing your shot and creating a good composition. Those things all translate into graphic design. But we're talking specifically about, is graphic design a good fit for you? So if you are an artist, if you do love to sketch, maybe an Illustrator would be a better place for you. And I've made a video about graphic design versus Illustrator, and you can check that out in the YouTube cards above or the description below. And the thing is, if you like to sketch, if you really love to hone in on that field, then I would recommend going for a major or studying studio art so you can really hone in on those skills. So the difference between art and design is designers are mainly organizing the information that they're given in order to create a design, in order to create a magazine, a brochure, an advertising piece, maybe a billboard. They're gonna take art from illustrators, they're gonna take type from copywriters, they might even take a photograph from a photographer, and they're gonna combine all those things to create a composition that either solves a problem or communicates clearly the message or the information that the person is trying to get across. And by person, I mean client or your job employer, etc. One of the biggest things that I always say is design solves a problem and art poses a question. I mean, that's kind of a simple way to look at it, but I feel like art is really the motivator of emotion, whereas design is simply, I'm here to communicate, I'm here to solve a problem. I hope that starts to get you the difference. If you're interested in art or illustration, maybe you should head that route. If you love to solve problems, maybe you're gonna go the design route. And so let's talk about problem solving. So when I say problem solving, what do I mean? I mean, when you're a graphic designer, you're gonna get a lot of information. You're gonna get type, images, color palettes. Whoever's hiring you is gonna send you all this inspiration, all this information, and then you have to solve their problem. If they're looking to sell the brand new watch that they've just made, you're looking to how to communicate that watch and their vision in the most effective way possible. So not only are you solving a problem, but you're creating a vision. Are you a visionary? Are you somebody who wants to take nothing, bring it to life, communicate in a glorious way to sell a product, to make an impact, to promote a nonprofit? Are you somebody who has that sort of vision, or could you develop that vision? Is it something that you want to do, but you want to get better at it? That's why you should pursue education and a career in graphic design, is if you want to get better at that. It's something that I lacked going into school, and as I went through my schooling, as I got my bachelor's and my master's degree in graphic design, I started to be able to solve problems better. I think one of the biggest benefits to an education and a career in graphic design is looking at problems from multiple angles. When I first started, I lacked the ability to do that, but after going through my schooling, after getting out into the workforce, I'm starting to really develop a strong niche in solving problems and communicating ideas and for seeing things from multiple angles. That's one of the biggest things is there a benefit that comes with a college education of graphic design? And if you want to know more about that, I'm going to create a video about the benefits of a graphic design education, and you'll be able to check that out in the YouTube cards above or the description below. One of the things that I've learned over the years is, do you have a desire to be ever learning? Do you have a desire to be a practitioner? And what that means is you're a practicing graphic designer. In my opinion, there's no such thing as a professional or an arrived graphic designer because there's no certification. There's no bar, there's no business certification, there's no insurance certification that you take as a graphic designer that says, okay, I'm certified, I've arrived, I'm complete, I have everything. There is daily things to be learning as a graphic designer for myself to better my skills. You need to have a love for learning as a graphic designer, or you will get really frustrated because there's always a new technology to learn, there's always a new social media platform to hone in on. So if you have a love for learning, you're going to succeed in this career. If you don't, I recommend looking towards another career. Honestly, just being totally transparent. If you love learning, this is the spot for you. If you don't, move on. Move on. And that leads me to being self-motivated. Are you self-motivated? So you have a love for learning, you want to learn, but does that actually manifest itself in you going out, taking classes, getting on YouTube, watching some videos like this, going and enrolling in courses online, whatever it may be, to push yourself, to grow? In order for me to push myself as a graphic designer, I have to wake up at about 4:15 every day. I'm not saying you have to do that. Maybe you're a night owl. Maybe you like to stay up from 10 to 12 to 1, and that's what you do, and then you sleep in. That's fantastic, but my point is, are you self-motivated enough to push through the hard times? Because learning a lot of these skills, learning Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, learning the basic fundamentals of graphic design, it takes a while for those to get embedded into your mind, into your daily work. For me, I'm starting to see my graphic design skills becoming second nature. For the longest time, I had to be very, very, very intentional about the things I learned, about focusing on the fundamentals. And since you're doing it so long, now it's starting to become second nature. But in order to master something, it is said it's 10,000 hours. That is what it takes to really master an art field. So whether it be music, whether it be architecture, whether it be graphic design, it's gonna take time. You're not just gonna go out, get a degree, get a certification, and be golden. You're gonna have a time frame on where it takes to really dive in and become the excellent graphic designer that you want to be. So that's what I'm saying. It's all about being in for the long haul. If you're wondering, is graphic design right for me? That's a question you have to answer. Is your excitement for creativity, for problem solving, for the arts, for photography, is your passion enough to pull you in for the long haul? Now, maybe you're wondering, okay, I like all the motivation stuff. I like seeing, kind of the conceptual stuff, but what does it take on a technical side to become a graphic designer? Well, you're gonna wanna learn the Adobe Creative Cloud. So that's gonna be InDesign, Illustrator, and Photoshop. Those are the top 3 that graphic designers use, and I'll quickly talk through those. Photoshop is where you do all your photo manipulation. Illustrator is where you create vector illustrations. And InDesign is where you lay out all of your design documents. A lot of times people use these in the wrong way. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about those, I've created some videos about the proper way to use Photoshop versus Illustrator and just discussing how to properly use the Adobe programs correctly. I hope that helps you get a grasp on if graphic design is right for you. If you have any questions or you want to add anything to this video, please comment below. I want to get your feedback. I want to make sure that we're helping the community of up-and-coming graphic designers dive in with a great amount of knowledge. That way they know where they're heading, they know their endpoint and their goal. If this content has helped you at all, please hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel to stay up to date on all the latest videos. I put out daily videos on this channel, and I want to be a help to you. I want to be a resource to you. We'll see you here next time. I'm Benji Kaiser of BenjiKaiser.com.